short break. So we'll move on to the next agenda of insightful uh, technical sessions. So we'll start with the technical session one. So I'll just give a background why it is so important. As we know, in safety management, what we measure shapes how we perform. And for years, organizations have relied on lagging indicators like incident rates, injury statistics, which tells us what has already happened. And while improvement, they are reactive. This led to adoption of leading indicators, enabling proactive identification of risks before the harm occurs. Today, the safety matured organizations are moving even further towards transformational safety indicators, focusing on leadership behaviors, workforce engagement, and safety culture to drive sustainable excellence. So, with this context, it is my privilege to invite our speaker, Mr. Luke Hevin, Group EHS Head of Larsen & Toubro Limited, to share insights on from lagging to leading indicators, advancing towards transformational safety indicators. Welcome you, Mr. Lowe.
So as people slowly come back in, just sit and enjoy. And what I want to achieve today is just one thing. Imagine we will be able to predict where accidents are going to happen. Imagine we are going to predict which project, which office, which factory, which company is going to have the next incident, so we can prevent it from happening. Imagine that we know the effectiveness of our EHS systems. So today we're at IIT, and I wanted to make this presentation about learning. So not only our own journey that we've started at L&T, but also learning for everybody else. What can you actually do? And give you examples of how we're started this journey. Myself, why did I do this? Why predictive indicators? First of all, obviously I'm not from India. I've got my experience from all over the world. I even met my previous Worley Parson colleague, so that I didn't even know we had here. So which is fantastic. I'm closer to 60 than I'm to 55. And no gray hair. So, yeah, Nigel, you're getting there as well, eh? So, this is what safety does to you. Eventually, when you grow old, you lose your hair, I can tell you. In the meantime, you had time to read the question. Anybody knows the answer? Because books have been written about this. And I love studying. That's why I do this. I learned in my history in Korea. I spent 6 years in Korea. I spent time in South Africa, in Turkey, in Australia, in China. So I learned a lot of things along the way. So, and studying is one thing that keeps your brain ticking over and bringing in new initiatives like what we're talking about today. So what do these things have in common? Anybody? Yes, tell me. Financial loss, definitely they had that in common. But from a safety perspective, anybody seen the movie Deepwater Horizon or read the book? Anybody? I hope so. You're all safety professionals, or many safety professionals. So please, if you haven't read the book or haven't seen the movie, you have to. It's compulsory literature for every safety professional. Deepwater Horizon. Anybody at least know what it is? Drill rig. Yeah, drill rig. Drilling. Halliburton was drilling. I worked for Halliburton as well. So I was in the offshore and onshore. And suddenly there was a well blowout in deep water, came up, ignited, and the whole platform exploded. Before the platform exploded, there was a LTI-free award by BP, who was the owner of that well. And the global head of safety of BP, together with executives, flew out to the platform to issue awards. And then when they flew out, within a week, the whole thing exploded. The biggest environmental disaster ever happened in the world. So, and also the biggest financial loss for BP. Their systems drifted into failure. Yes. Lack of backup safety. We're going to talk about that 100%. Yes. So they drifted into failure. There were so many precursors that happened before Deepwater Horizon, before the GFC. I was working in Perth in Australia at the time when the GFC broke out in 2008. The same as the space shuttle. So many precursors. Same, and if you do your root cause analysis, you find all these things that happened before the accident. What if we can gather these before the accident events and we can measure that? And we can provide that to the board of directors and to our executive team. We can tell our executives, our leadership team from, hey, we are drifting here. Something is going to happen. And, oh, no, don't worry. Everything is good. They have no accidents for the last 4 years. No fatalities. I said, yes, but this is the evidence that things have drifted. What if we can do that? Wouldn't it be great? And that is where we kick off today. First question, I want to see everybody's hand. By focusing on zero, it's like zero harm. Is this going to lead to better result? So what are your thoughts? Yes, I want to see all the yes answers. Okay, some yeses. I want to see all the no answers. Okay, so the rest is all somewhere in the between answer. I said I want to see all hands. I know I speak English with an accent. I can speak Dutch, German, French, English, Russian, but no Tamil, no Hindi. So, guys, everybody, now I want to see all hands, not half-half. Who says yes? Who's in the yes camp? Good. Good. Who's in the no camp? Good. Now I see more hands. Good. So, my opinion, and that's only my opinion. I don't say anybody good or bad or indifferent. My opinion is people that focus on zero create a culture of non-compliance. Why is that? Why is that? We do LTI free awards. Think about the Deepwater Horizon. LTI free awards. Imagine you're close to getting your award and suddenly I have an LTI. Somebody cut finger and needs to go off to get sutures, cannot come back the next day or the next day after. You reckon they're going to report the incident? No, I agree. They won't. They won't. Hiding incidents, we all know, we're safety professionals or leaders of big projects. We all know it is common. You don't have to hide it. It is common. We need to have a system where we don't have to do this anymore. Because at the end, it's not a number, guys. This is not a numbers game. We talk about people. So why do we measure luck? So we're currently measuring luck, which is a lagging indicator. I report into the board of directors of L&T and I send them all the basically for all our over 1,000 projects with over 1 million people that we have under our wing, and we only reported lagging indicators. We report how lucky somebody is, how lucky your project is. So that is not what is important for me. This is a new way of looking at safety. This is something that I presented to our L&T board, and that is what we're going to work on the next couple of years. Safety, looking at it from a positive perspective, not from a negative perspective. It's about delivering value. It's about successful execution. It's about accountable leadership. Those are the three key things we now globally are going to use to measure our success in safety. So no longer just only the number of fatals. That is old-fashioned, guys. That is old-fashioned. So we now need to come up with new ideas so that the board of directors can allocate the right funds, the right resources to the right areas where it's needed. And that is what we need to do. As safety professionals, that's our job. So how do we do this? How do we measure this? There's two things that make this up. The first one is still a lagging indicator. So lagging indicators don't disappear. So don't worry about it. We don't make them disappear. We use SIF going forward. The other thing that we're measuring now is the other side of the story. So we have on one side, we had the lagging story, and all the way on the other side, we have the predictive story. So the predictive story is about culture. Culture, we're going to explain that later on, where you can predict when something goes wrong in the future. So E-Cube, empowering, enabling, ethical. Later on, you're going to see more about this, what this actually means. So don't worry about it too much. Those number one and number two, they get combined into a KPI. And that KPI is going to be presented in a heat map. I'll show you how that looks like later on. So don't worry, I'll show you how it looks like. That's one thing actually you might have seen here. There's like a thing called no harm. This is an L&T, so all the L&Tites, of course, know what that means. So it's got double meaning. No harm means knowledge, like IIT. It's about knowledge, about hazard and risk management. HARM, hazard and risk management. So knowledge of hazard and risk management leads to no harm. People, environment, and of course, our infrastructure. KPI 1 is about SIF. Within SIF, we're going to focus and measure STKY. What is STKY? It's a technical term. What is STKY, guys? Come on, you're safety professionals. Very, very technical. It is stuff that kills you. Stuff that kills you. Why is it so important? Because stuff that kills you is based on energy. Energy is stuff that kills us. And I'm not only talking about electricity. I'm talking about kinetic energy. I'm talking about all these different types of energy that we have. So we talk about energy-based safety. Energy-based safety is 10 elements, and every element over 1,500 joules is more than likely going to kill you. There's many research documents done, technical, medical documents done, where there is under 1,500 joules of impact, you'll survive. Over 1,500 joules, more than likely you don't survive. For example, a fall. I'm working on a ladder at 10 meters high. My mass is 84 kilos, and the G is the G-force 9.7. So my kilograms times 10 meters high times the force, it comes into joules. And then you can say, yes, it's going to kill you, or no, you'll survive. So that is what we need to focus on. Things like the drops calculator. You can just Google it and it's just free of charge. So drops calculator, again, it comes with joules. everything over 1500 joules, that's what we should focus on as safety professionals. We need to quantify what we're doing. Like working at height, you need to put on a harness. Yes, why? You need to have a tow board. That's okay. Why? We often fail to explain why we want things. Our job is sales agent. We're nothing more than sales agents, more or less. We sell safety. We don't dig, we don't build scaffold, we don't manufacture anything. We sell. But we need to learn how to sell better. Not just telling people, but explaining. And then people will listen more and more, and they will do things themselves. And the doing things themselves is what we're going to need for this. So KPI 2 is all about the qualitative side. So KPI 1, S, is all about the quantitative. This is about the qualitative side. Empower, enable, ethical. Those are the 3 pillars of culture. The 3 pillars of culture. It's about people. Because I don't know in any other industry, but over 90% of all the accidents that happen is because a person is involved. A person did something that either caused an event to somebody else, or is likely to cause an event later on, or he just injures himself. So, but what is culture? So we said enable, empower, ethical. What is culture? Who can give me a definition of culture? Yeah, it's in your blood. Yeah, yeah. People also, some people call it common sense. Habits, yes. Yes, ways of working. Yeah.
Culture, can we say that attitude, sir?
Mind safety, attitude.
And behavior.
Behavior, yes. So there's a lot of things that make up culture, but culture is basically the key one. It is living inside a person. It's living inside. It's made up of who you are, your upbringing, your religion, where you've been born, your family, what your studies been. Everything that makes up culture, that makes up common sense, because common sense is not common at all. It's only common to one person. If you have all these people together, all these different common senses in little work teams, they make a new common sense. And then those little teams make up companies or business units or projects, and they again have a different common sense. So culture is modifying that common sense. In safety or in behavioral safety, we call that a lot the antecedents. So antecedents make up the common sense. And then after the antecedents becomes the actual B, behavior, A, B, C, behavior. And then come to C is the consequence. So the B, the behavior is something you can see, and what you can see, you can measure. So that's why we say we can measure culture, because you can physically see it, because you can see behavior. With traditional culture models, we always had a problem. I've been in safety for over 35 years. So I've seen many of these. When I was working with Shell in the Netherlands, I was part of a big working party where we defined things like flexible culture, learning culture. How do you put that together? What are the key ingredients? And you see that here. Here you see the key ingredients of every culture stream over the past 30 plus years. Who recognizes any of these? Nobody recognizes anything. You never heard of learning culture, reporting culture, flexible culture, trust culture, caring culture? I hope so. Yes? Good. The big problem with all these culture models that we developed as safety professionals in the past is we could never measure them. We could never come up with a KPI to measure these things. And since 2019, 2020, there is a whole new thinking that was put together. And I was part of that working group together with a number of professors like Sidney Dekker and others that came up with a new thing called Safety Differently. And Safety Differently, we then started looking at resilient culture. Because resilient culture is something that you can measure. It comes from resilient engineering. What we see with L&T, for example, that there is a very high turnover of people, of workmen, sometimes up to 60%. People come, a couple of months later, they go back to their hometown. There's a wedding, there is a harvest, there are things happening. So there is a constant change. So how resilient is your factory, your project, your organization in that change? How resilient are you in adopting and working with all this? You need to absorb these shocks every time there's a change. These days, I know our projects, our clients expect a lower price every time. They also expect a shorter time frame every time. And what are the two things that kills the most? Rushing things and have no money to do things for safety. So again, we need to become resilient. We know we can't reverse it. We just need to have strategies to adopt, to counteract that. And we do that through resilient culture. So these things actually you can measure. I'll show you how you measure this. But we'll start with how you can actually see at the beginning, how you can see culture drifting. Because culture drifting is an important part. So drifting culture, there's books written about it. Drifting culture is showing how resilient you are. We just said that resilience is important, but how can you measure resilience? So one thing, all the way to the top layer, is you start measuring resilience by finding out, are we drifting? And what is drifting? It is, like you see here, you start pedaling quite nicely, you start a new project, you have very good procedures, you have very good induction, very good training programs, and then bit by bit, things start deteriorating. If the years go by, your stuff starts eroding. And that is drifting. Drifting is the schedule's getting tighter, the budget's getting tighter, safety gets worse. So I don't know if I can actually make this video go video. Yeah? Can somebody, oh, hold on, I have got here a computer. Aha, good. Yes? Thank you. So this is a video clip about Pemex. Pemex is the national oil company of Mexico. The president, about 10 years ago, president of Mexico had election, and during the election, he knew that Pemex, the national oil company, was deeply in deficit. They're not making profit. So to win the election, he wanted to make Pemex positive again. So he told the leadership of Pemex, cut cost at all because you need to be profitable. So the leadership of Pemex decided to cut cost. And they started cutting cost in maintenance. I don't know if anybody worked in hydrocarbon plants before, in chemical plants, but one thing you don't do is cut your cost on maintenance. In 1 year, they had over 15,000 people killed in Mexico because not just one, but around 15 different accidents, blowouts, pipelines that went through villages that blew out, everything. Because what happens when oil and gas goes through pipelines, it's corroded, and of course it thins the walls in every bend, and then eventually it's that thin that if there's a little knock or whatever happens, then of course it explodes. So that is, again, drift. A reason why they started drifting is about saving money, cutting cost. But we need to find out how we can prevent this. How can we identify this? And that is what is, how can we identify this? Because that's what we as safety professionals need to do. That's our job. That's our job. So we need to measure, record, learn. And Rasmussen already said, okay, we're here at a learning institute, so there's some learning stuff in here. We need to identify that through the drift to danger. It's not new. It's already very, very mature. We need to identify drift. We need to identify if we decrementalize and then normalize. Ellen Thieleit, of course, they already know a little bit about this, but cultural trends are two things. Decrementalism is the key thing of drift. The key thing of drift is going away from your current standard. We all have safety standards, but bit by bit, we reduce our standard as time goes on. One is, for example, training. We measure training, isn't it? What do we normally measure in training hours? What do we measure in training hours? What does training hours measure? Head count, yes. How many hours? Yes. But does it measure anything about effectiveness?
Sir, it can be classified as on-job training or off-job training also can be classified.
Yes.
Based on the on-job training, yeah.
I'll show you how, because you need to check the effectiveness of training, not how many hours you give training. If I give training in Dutch, German, French, Russian, how many people would follow my training? Nobody. Yeah, okay, yeah, one because he speaks French. But I delivered my 1 hour, but how effective is it? So what do you want to know? You want to know the 1 hour, or you want to know the effectiveness of that 1 hour? What do you think the board of directors want to know? That's it. They want to know the effectiveness. They want to know if something is not effective, where do I need to deploy my little resource that I have, my money? Where do I need to put my money to get the biggest bang for my buck? So that is what we do by checking the decrementalism, and then we normalize. I was on a project, on one of our projects, and they started off 3 years ago, and they had induction for workers at start 4 hours every induction. Perfect, no problem. 4 hours induction. But when I asked the actual trainer, when I went to the training center, I said, how long does a training actually take? He said, well, about 45 minutes, and 15 minutes is writing the actual cards, the induction cards. So the induction was only 30 minutes. So everybody believed it was 4 hours. The client believed it was 4 hours, but actually it was only 30 minutes. And over the past years, it started 4 hours, then it went to 3.5, and then it went to 3, then it went to 2.5, bit by bit, because construction every time requested, oh, can we do this a little bit quicker? Oh, it's a concreting crew, and there's the truck is waiting. Can we quickly get these concrete guys done? Because they need to do, and and do the concreting. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. You'll go down and you normalize. You go down, you normalize. That is the stuff you want to measure. That is the stuff leadership is interested in. They're not interested in how many first aid cases you have. They're interested in how can I fix if there is gaps. So what can we do to prevent this drift? There's a couple of things. So transformational indicators, we talked about it, so I'm going to show you how they look like. But there's also transformational indicators are linked to a thing called Safety 3, and Safety 3 is linked to resilient culture. Who knows Safety 3? I'm the only one. Who knows Safety 1? Safety 1? Okay, good. After Safety 1 comes Safety 2. After Safety 2 comes Safety 3. So for us as safety professionals, these are blocks of basically how we do safety. So when we look at new safety thinking for us as professionals is now Safety 3. I was born in 1968. Safety wasn't that big at the time, but they already had Safety 1. It already existed. So Safety 1, state where as few things go wrong as possible, then Safety 2 and Safety 3. So quickly, let's go through a couple of these things. So Safety 1, 1965 till 1990. That whole period was about Safety 1. And Safety 1 is about this. Compliance-based safety. Work as imagined. Find and fix approach. And I'm really sorry to say, but when I came to India and I started to work with L&T and started to visit our sites and our factories, I predominantly see Safety 1. I don't know if hopefully I don't offend anybody, but our core in India here is Safety 1 driven. A state where as few things go wrong as possible, and we reward that. If a few things go wrong, if nothing goes wrong, you get a reward, which is fantastic. You get an award, which is fantastic. But remember the first slide, it's about who believes about 0. We know that 0 is, questionable. So here's a little video clip that shows what is Safety 1. So you see a gentleman going under a little like bunding. Imagine if there's like big star droppers underneath, he will be pinned for life. So they had a small little barricade, but they had no other way of getting around. So person comes, they then expect the person to turn around and walk all the way around. But what does a person do? Of course, a person goes underneath and of course then goes into the water. So work as expected and work as done doesn't work. We're human beings. Human beings take shortcuts. Human beings try to become doing the right thing for the company, saving money, doing it a different way, which is quicker, and any procedure was well. They got the lines there. Good. They even got the pile neatly bundled off. But it doesn't do anything. So what's Safety 2? Safety 2 is where things go right because people can adjust to their work situation. So people can adjust. So it's not just one, but it is bi-module. So it's not only black or white, works or not works. We see the guy going underneath the bunding. Yeah, the bunding definitely doesn't work because the person is there. So this is about people becoming more flexible to their working situation. Here's another one. where we see two workers. You might guess where they're from, but they getting a scaffold. They're erecting a scaffold. Have a look at their great fall arrest systems. They work there building a bamboo scaffold, probably about working with the National Bamboo Standard. But they work quite happily there. Nothing goes wrong. They tie them there. They have their bags with the bundles of tie ropes. And they just adapted. They adapted to their situation. They adapted to where they were working without any further accident. Unless, of course, one bamboo breaks or starts raining and it becomes very slippery or something else. Then, of course, it is too late. So safety 2 is about people knowing how to just adjust to their environment. And we see that a lot in our building sites as well. People just adjust. People get used to it. People done that for thousands of years. At homes, on their farms, everywhere. But what is now safety 3? Safety 3 is something new that came from, and when you start reading the books, that came from NASA. So NASA, actually their engineer, they're basically the rocket engineers, developed safety 3 when they started thinking about sending rockets to Mars. So that's when safety 3 thinking started to happen. So safety 3 is about accepting one key truth. Rules, procedures, and controls alone can never cover every situation. If you travel to Mars and it takes 10 years, you can have all the procedures you have, but there will be a time that not one procedure is going to help you. Everybody's seen sci-fi movies that, of course, go horribly wrong halfway their journey. That is. Because you need to use human judgment, morale, system design. Remember, enable, empower, ethical. There you go. Everything fits together. Enable, empower, ethical comes back to safety 3. It fits complex, high-risk work. Every one of us works in those environments. Every one of us works in those environments these days. Safety depends on people being trusted. We need to trust people. We need to empower them. We need to enable them. But we need to provide ethical leadership. So what is the way forward? It is not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It is, of course, combining all the good things from every safety 1, safety 2, and safety 3. These streams of safety thinking needs to be combined in the real world. You cannot say we're only going to focus on safety 3. No, it doesn't work. You still have 1 and 2. So you need to use all 3 of them. So they are complementary. They are complementary. That's what we're going to do with L&T over the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to roll out more and more of those safety 3 principles based on enable, empower, and ethical culture without, of course, throwing away all the other parts. And we're going to work towards a culture of commitment where we coach. We have a huge coaching program coming up globally from top leaders, one-on-one senior leadership coaching for a whole year, all the way to the worker in different models. Every single layer gets attacked. And of course, collaboration. So there will be things like, for us, vision, no harm. We get no harm influencers. We need to use new techniques for the new generation. The techniques that worked for me when I came into safety about over 35 years ago don't work with the new generation. So we have to think about new techniques like influencer programs and all this new type programs to run this. So how are we going to measure this? How are we going to measure this? We're going to use resilience culture model. We've already seen that the resilient culture model is built about psychological, managerial, and behavioral elements. Empowering, enabling, and ethical. There you go. It comes back again. The first one, psychological factors. For example, you measure risk prevention. That's only one example. For managerial, you talk about awareness, improvement, and behavioral, you talk about accountable leadership. And what you want to do is you want to do this: anticipating, monitoring, responding, and learning. Those three is what you want to actually measure. Because remember, you're going to predict something in the future. You're going to predict. Just to recap, I've got a big 5-kilo sledgehammer on the scaffold. The scaffold is just no toe board. The 5-kilo sledgehammer is lying on the scaffold. When it falls off and it hits my head, it becomes what kind of KPI it becomes? A lagging indicator. When it falls on top of my head, I become a lagging indicator. When the sledgehammer falls next to me, it becomes a leading indicator. That's also a lagging indicator. But now what we want to do, we want to not wait till it falls. We want to make sure, why is it there loose in the first place? We predict that it's going to fall because it's loose. There's no toe board. There is no like tool lanyard. There's nothing. It's not in a bucket. It's just lying loose. Somebody walks, kicks it, and off it goes. So that is what we want to measure. And we do that through these three things. Again, empowering, enabling, and ethical. We have positive and negative stuff that we're going to measure. Here you can see a part of, there's only 15, but we have developed 20 predictive indicators for empowering, 20 predictive indicators for enabling, and 20 predictive indicators for ethical. These predictive indicators, once we start collecting them, we'll give that, remember that number 1 and number 2, they will combine into a number. I can show you the Excel spreadsheet if you're interested in it. But it comes with all the formulas and everything there, with checklist, and it's checking the effectiveness. So one of these things, for example, is checking the effectiveness of training. So you measure the retention of training after a week. You deliver training, a week later, you go to the worker and you do like a questionnaire, verbal, and you measure the retention of the worker of the training. Does he remember anything of what he's learned? Is he no retention? No effectiveness. So you have to send him back again. This is how a scorecard looks, yes? Yep. Yep, I agree. So that's why we have these empower, enable, and ethical. Yep, and a lot is about the leadership. Leadership is involved in this. So this is being presented. Yep. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I fully agree. So that's why we develop these things, and they get now every quarter get reported to the board of directors. So if they see that certain of our independent companies or projects are not contributing their fair share, the board of directors then know from, hold on, they come very hard. They come down, because that's where it starts. Luck. Yes. Some people do it very well. Some people are just lucky. And that's why I want to stop measuring luck. So this is how a scorecard looks like. So it's called a balanced scorecard. So in a balanced scorecard, I don't have to explain everything, but there is like a target performance, actual performance. You actually put in here which one is more important than another. So you can put in like criteria of importance. So you can give a weighted scorecard. When you have these bullet points here, they go into a thing called a heat map. This heat map doesn't come up with LTI frequency rate, MTI frequency rate. Nobody outside of the safety fraternity knows what it really means. So let's stop using it. People just don't know. And even if you explain the formula, people honestly just don't give a shit. So give them something that they can see and understand. So they see, okay, he's going to the green. You want to be seen in the green, so good. No attention needed. Smart. Next. Here is in the red. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Tell me. EHS head, EHS manager, tell me what's wrong here? Poor input, poor output. What's going on? So this is a different way of engaging with senior leaders so that they can understand what needs to be done. Where do I need to focus my attention on? So all these little bullet points, of course, when you click on it, it has a lot of information behind it. It has this information behind it. It's got that information behind it. So that build up of a massive amount of data that ultimately transfers to a very simple thing to understand for them. Do I need to do something or not? If I'm in the red, then of course I need to do something because something is going to happen. The most dangerous part is when there is like luck here. Poor input, good output. This is the most dangerous situation where people that have like 4 years, no accidents, they do nothing, but they're just lucky. So here, you're forgiven. You do everything possible, but something happened. A worker working on top of a scaffold gets a heart attack, falls down. How can you prevent that? Of course, you can prevent everything, but sometimes you're just unlucky. So guys, that's it. It's in time. I will show you one thing about how the KPI sheet work, and then let's see if I can get it. Yep, nope, it doesn't allow me to open my PowerPoint presentation, but okay. Sorry, my Excel spreadsheet. No. I have it with me. If I take it out, maybe it not stopped working. Oh, okay, I've got another one. Yeah. So any questions in the meantime? Any questions? Yes. Yep. Yep.
Natural disaster, which is beyond human control. After achieving all this,
Yep.
any suggestion you will give how to be faced? Natural disasters can come in any form, either a cyclone, storm,
Yep.
heavy rain.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just unlucky. But even then, once you got everything under control, or even the things that seem to be unlucky, you can control. You can predict when there is rain coming, because you can have storm warning systems kilometers away that we do, for example, in Saudi Arabia. where you have kilometers away, you already know that the sandstorm is coming because there is big pillars set up with the whizzers on top. There is Bureau of Methodology. Hopefully it opens, something opens. So yeah, there is still way of doing things. Let me quickly. So here you can see like there's KPIs for ethical. And these are all KPIs that have like calculations and everything with it. So this is about like leadership, effectiveness of leadership, measuring the accountability of leadership. This is about enabling. Again, comes with a lot of the KPIs already. Campaign effectiveness. We do a lot of campaigns, but how effective are our campaigns that we have on in our factories and our fields? Emergency preparedness. How effective, physically effective is it? Hazard identification. VR, AR training, we do it, but how effective is it? So there is a lot of things there that is measuring new thinking. Everybody does, of course, root cause analysis. Everybody knows how to do things. Everybody knows when there is things being identified, like housekeeping issues. In day one, okay, we clean up housekeeping issues. Then the next day, another report, housekeeping issues. Okay, we clean up, closed. Day 3, oh, housekeeping issues. Swipes up, closed. That is not safety, guys. That is doing the same thing over and over and over again. That is, I don't know if you ever heard of Einstein, but Einstein came up with a name for that. He called it insanity. Is doing the same thing over and over and over and trying and expecting a different result. You won't get a different result. The next day there will be housekeeping again. So if you bring the cleaning boy and he sweeps, and that doesn't make a difference. We need to find out why there is housekeeping issues. Are there bins provided? Are workers allowed to get food in the yard? So there's hundreds of different things that checks the effectiveness of what we're doing. And that is what I wanted to show and talk today about. It's about showing a new way of measuring safety. There, what you can predict accidents from happening in the future. And you can prevent them from happening in the future. So I still got 1 more minute. So any more questions? Yep. Yeah. So for us, for L&T, that's why we changed the focus from, we had mission 0. Yes, we did. What was the official terminology? Mission 0 harm. And we changed it to vision no harm. So we still have harm in there, but harm is now defined as hazard and risk management. And instead of 0, we talk about no, meaning knowledge. Knowledge of hazard and risk management will give you no harm to the environment, to people, and to assets. So we just changed it a little bit around.
Hi, I have one question with you.
Yep.
In the beginning of the presentation, you said you feel still, when you reach India, you feel still India is in safety 1.
Yes.
Is it is inherently, or else people are complacent?
No, I don't think it's complacent. I don't think people are complacent. People are not different than anywhere else in the world. I worked in over 40 countries. Indian people are not different. If I take an Indian person and I put him in the Middle East, suddenly he's very compliant. So it's not the person, it's the system. The system that allows the person to become less compliant. So A lot of times we talk about civic sense of Indian people that you see that throw rubbish out or urinate in public. But when I bring Indian to my work site in Saudi, nobody does that. When I walk in Australia, currently I live in Mumbai, but my wife is now in Australia, so that's where my house is. Many friends are Indian. They don't walk up in the street and say, psh, no. So why do they do it here? So it is the system around, and that is that culture what I showed. Culture is the common sense of a group of people. And we need to rebuild that for the group of people within our control, within our factories, within our yards, within our environment. Because we can control that. Everything outside we can't control. It's very hard. We're not the government, so that's different. So it's creating that common sense through a lot of different culture programs we're going to do over the next 3 years. So about what I said, the influencer program, the coaching programs, giving workers a voice, getting workers to come at facilitated session and listen to the workers. How can they improve their work? I'm not talking about a bed or a piece of soap. I'm talking about physically. How can you build a better scaffold? These guys doing it for 20 years. How am I to say that this is the procedure and you need to follow it? No. Maybe they have better ways. Listen to them.
Good example. This fire I think.
Mhm.
The list is preserved.
Okay.
Now, you know, this was the natural way.
Yeah, it's beautiful when I drove
So
in
people
here.
are not dropping litter here.
No, I could see it because when I drove in this morning, I saw a couple of deer walking around. It was absolutely beautiful, this whole campus. It's magnificent. So yeah.
Just to, one of our colleagues asked about that, the first question is disaster management, right?
Yep.
So just I want to highlight to you guys, recently we have a special guest visiting our CML projects. Our National Disaster Management team is that visit our projects. In case, see, we already have a good safety management systems, a documentation point of view, and we have a good safety team is built up in many locations. But apart from this, if there is any earthquake, if there is any tsunami or something, so how you can act it? If one accident or two accident which is happening to tunnel, then we have a team to go and to save that workers or staff, anyone. But if any natural disaster or any earthquake, then how you can be active? So now the questions raised by the government of India, and they have supporting to all the projects from NDFR, National Defense Management System. So now visiting all the projects nowadays. So if any big companies, contractor companies, if you want, you can please invite them also. So they come and visit your project and they give some ideas. In case of this kind of disaster management, they can give good training and also they can give a lot of support to us. So recently they visit 3 days before they visit and they give some good points to us. We are working a close proximity to the seaport. Okay.
Hey, hold on. You're just plugging yourself now.
No,
I thought it was my time.
no, just I want to have to highlight.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for the disaster management, we have
Yes.
a team and also government also supporting us also.
Good.
Yeah.
Now for disaster management, again, we talked about resilient culture. Disaster management is part of that becoming resilient as an organization, that you're ready to do this stuff. When something happens, when something big happens, you're resilient enough to cope with it, absorb it, and continue. COVID is a great example of it. Now, currently what's happening, of course, in the Gulf, same thing. Great example. It affects us big time. It
Yeah.
delays stuff.
I'll take one last question.
Yep.
Sorry.
We spoke about incident and this behavior and culture.
Yeah, ABC.
So, seems culture is the ultimate, and means we have to work on culture. Of course, I agree with. But there are top management when they exhibit the fake culture, that I am exhibiting the fake culture. You can understand what I mean to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. Inside something and outside
Yep.
something, okay, I'm doing for safety and all.
Yeah.
How we will identify technically
Yep.
and how we will correct that type of
Yep.
situation and person?
Yeah, no, great question. So that's why we developed under, like you have enable, empower, and ethical. So under the ethical group, there is 20 KPIs that measure the effectiveness of leadership, of basically how effective leaders are in changing and affecting culture. Well, that's basically the KPIs, 20 of them that define that. Not that every project needs to do all 20. So we asked, because we're a very diverse organization, it's all risk-based. So we asked each independent company to identify, based on their risk, which of the KPIs fit best with their risk profile. They choose 3, and they can even choose within different projects. So for example, heavy civil, they might have 3 different business groups that have different risks. So they can identify different KPIs for leaders because they know that this leadership in this vertical is pretty fake. Then they can choose different KPIs that will float that to the top. So that's how we build these KPIs that will identify the drift as we talked about it. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you. It is a very insightful session, and so Luke has given a new dimensions how we have to measure the safety performance and how we have to bring it to the management attention. So on behalf of C, thank you once again, Mr. Luke, for the wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So moving on to the next agenda, we will have quick presentations from our valuable sponsors. So where will be who are the continued support, whose continued support plays a important role in promoting safety, innovation, and industry engagement. So we'll first invite Madras Tools and Tankles, who is our platinum sponsor, for the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I am Balraj from MT&T Group. It is a pleasure to part of C Awards and Safety Engineering Association to giving this opportunity. MT&T Group has been supporting industries for over 5 decades in innovating solutions in IT work at platforms, rope access, and specialized industries service. Now, we would like to present short corporate video showcasing our journey, capability, and commitment to industry's excellence. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, MTND team, for the solutions you are providing to the organizations. So next, we'll have a presentation from our goal sponsor, Action. Let us give a big round of applause to welcome our goal sponsor.
Good afternoon to you, everyone. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here today, and I want to be sincerely thankful to the organizers, C, to give us this platform to showcase and connect with all of you. The engagement behind its integrity and the material we have retested and at Action Safety Solutions. I'm just showcasing you some of the things which we do. Action Safety Solution was founded in 2004 in Delhi and one for a clear purpose to build world-class safety equipments right here in India for the real demand for Indian industry. Not adapted, not imported, not rebranded, engineered from the ground up. And from the 2 decades we are manufacturing in Delhi with all certifications which we have. These are the certification we have right now. ISI, CE, all the compliances in PP industry. We have production, quality testings and sales and marketing team all over India, and yes, do exports also under one roof. We manufacturing in North India. These are some of the product range which we are manufacturing, and this is the new plant which we have installed in Haryana, Sonipat, with 65,000 square feet of area. This is all in-house manufacturing we are doing. These are the electrical safeties which we are manufacturing there. Discharge rods, FRP, that's rescue hooks, electrical gloves, electrical safety shoes, and electrical rubber mats. Safety helmets, safety shoes, reflective jacket and coveralls, and fall protection. Then apart from this, logout tagouts, road safety, fall protection safety nets, fire safeties. These are the in-house testing facility which we are having. Thank you so much for presenting me this. And I hope everyone liked the session. And we will keep on sponsoring this kind of session for Say India. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the Action team. And so we will move on to the next technical session, which is on something, it's a growing trend in almost in every industry and in the all sectors. The construction sector remains high-risk environment due to dynamic work sites and multiple interfaces and human factors. Today, managing safety effectively requires more than traditional controls, and innovation technologies like digital monitoring, smart systems, data analytics, and automation are enabling organizations to identify risk at the early stage and improve the visibility and take proactive actions at the project sites. So with this context, this session highlights how technology is transforming in safety management and helps to create safer, smarter construction workplaces. So with this context, I now invite Dr. S. Baladivakar, Chief Safety Expert from Aeon Consortium for GC2 of Chennai Metro Rail Limited. So the topic is on safety management using innovative technologies in construction sector. So let us give a big round of applause to welcome Dr. S. Baladivakar.
Good morning, everyone. A special thanks to the SCA team and Dr. Selva Ganapati sir for inviting me to this award ceremony. Once again, I could like to thank all the guests and my colleagues for the supports and presence. I'm Dr. S. Baladivakar. I'm working for, currently I'm working as a Chief Safety Expert in CMR projects. And also I'm a DGM in Nippon Kori. Okay. So overall 24 years working in the safety field. In Singapore, Singapore is 14 years and Germany 1 year. And DFC Dedicated Freight Corridor as a chief safety expert 5 years, and currently Chennai Metro. Fine. So currently my topic is safety management using innovative technologies in construction sector. See, more or less here, I think CML team is 50% here. I might know about it. I think they have discussed many things regarding for that safety. Now we are going for innovative mode. So how we can go the innovative mode based upon the current the projects systems. So these are the contents what I want to cover for this topic. I think it takes very long, but I want to cover it within for half an hour due to the time constraint. Safety innovative workplace construction safety management, and some glimpse about what the current scenario in the CML projects. I have some few clips and also videos also for that. And what is safety management, and introduction to safety in the workplace, like innovative mode, wearable safety technology, and drone for safety inspections, and robust in hazardous environment, and VR, virtual realities, and AR for the safety training, and safety management software analysis, and AI machine and learning in safety systems, safety LOT, Internet of Things devices, some case studies, and some challenges and consideration. And further, we have safety tools in the workplace, and conclusion. See, why I took this topic, first of all, for this. See, now in the industries, everyone knows about safety management system. Okay, how to implement, how safety management systems works. And the morning section, Mr. Lewis discussed about some safety culture and how it's activate, and there are some key factors, everything also for that. But apart from this, so now recently we have some discussion with the bankers. So the paymasters from JICA and the World Bank and AIB. So if you see from the worldwide, they now go for AI, means artificial intelligence, and based upon that, they are pushing the progress in safe way. Okay, so nowadays our eyes is totally different, and apart from this, AI eyes is totally different for that. So humans factors, we have found many locations, and apart from this, how we can control the accidents, incidents at workplaces also for that. Okay. So safety innovation is a job typically refers to introducing new methods, technologies, or practices that enhance workplace safety. It can be applied across all the industries like construction, healthcare, manufacturing, and other technology factors also for that. So like manufacturing and consultant, we are using, so now the construction field, we are using a wearable smart helmets. Nowadays, L&T is also using for the smart technologies. They're using some kind of video clips and give some trainings to them in different way also for this. And we are using for drones. So how to utilize the drones at the workplaces to improve the safety and to find faults also for that. And AI and sensors also for that. This is your, now it's developing other manufacturing sectors and construction sectors also for that. So now come to the healthcare. So now healthcare, we are using robotics, and also they're using a special PPs also for that. And come for office and technologies, ergonomics, innovation methods, and transportation of logistics. So we are using different kind of sensor systems. And recently I found in one of the Delhi forum, they're using some kind of sensors. While the drivers are driving at the vehicle, they have the sensor to understand, better understanding of the drivers, how to drive it, whether it's sleepy mode or different mode also for that. So like that, we have this AI tool is useful for that. And some few examples of the innovations in the job sectors also for that. So I have discussed one by one later stage. I show some video clips. It's better understanding to you also for that. So this is some glimpse about the worksite critical progress video, but it is based off on Chennai Metro. If you see this one, I think Chennai Metro people knows very well about this video. But apart from this, how we are doing the safe work progress at the work sites. See, this is one of the launching we did in Porur. Open web girder. So their total weight is 300 ton. Okay, so they're doing the lifting by using a single crane, not from the tandem lifting due to space constraints. And you see the video. So how they're doing for lifting for this, it is a live road. And apart from this, they're using from 600 ton crane. They're shifting and launching for this girders, OWGs in safer way. So by using a different technology, but how you can have to more safe. Why means If suppose the lifting technology is not good, it can be easily toppled. So recently we found there is lapses in the crane selections also, and degraded cranes also selection also for that. So based upon that, how we can define the crane technology, how we can improve the standards and system in the lifting operation also for this. Okay. And so this is a new technology what we implement in the Katipara balance cantilever. Just you see for this how they use for the beam model and how they make it stitch. Simple video clips. Wherever I go, I can show this one. Why means in this one of the challengeable in Chennai Metro. Overall, this is 420 meter length and 120 degree curvature. So this is very difficult balance cantilever operation. And just I show about this only for the video clip. You can please see this, how it works also. How they're doing a safe method by using lifting operations, piling, so we had followed the same method, Chennai Metro project, and we achieved. And recently, I think we have overall that area is completed. I show that picture later, how the live is ongoing for that. So this is piling, pier cap constructions, the installation of pier structures and concreting is a twin pier. Recently, there is a Bangalore Metro project director also visit this location, and he appreciated about how the technologies have improved for that. But it's not easy. It is totally 40 meter height from the ground level. That is. Form mode. So then after go for inspection from traveler using that train, you see there is a road, some rail, and apart from this, near there is an airport also for that. So this is technology good, but based upon this, how you can improve the innovation mode also. So now how the balance cantilever works. For the traveler, the rebar tying. So normally there is the design they shows only about the single system of lifting, but based upon that design, we are doing for double anchor protection also for that by using McLean bars. Interview of it. Sorry. How is it? And one more challenge is we are crossing to the metro line or rail line also. That is induction line. It is 2.3 meters. It faces a lot of challenge also. You see the curvature. And it's 97 meters. Operation. So based on that, now the live before start the work, see the top view by using a drone. So through the drone only we found it and how the risk, everything also for that. See, this is a pier. You see the pier. And this is the current one. So this is one of the challengeable what we follow in that Chennai Metro rails. And based upon that, how the innovative things we can implement also for that. So based off the drone, we check a lot of things and we can find some safety issues. And also you see the top, there is a lot of housekeeping point of view. We can be observed for that. And we take a note and we can give a lot of complaints to completion the complete this balance cantilever sections also for that. Okay, this is another video for load test at second. And apart from this underground package, power to increase our productivity. Okay, so nowadays, many industries, they want to need to complete the work within for 2 years, 3 years. So previously, while working in Singapore itself, there is a time frame. So time frame means they give for that 2 years. Only for means 24 months or 25 months only for that. But when it comes to India, there is a time frame fixed for 24 months, and after that it lapses. Then again it can extend. Why they extend also for this? The government raises a question. And there's a cost constraint also. They can pressure the contractor to complete the work on a timely manner and increasing the fatal accidents or many accidents we are facing at the workplaces also. So based upon that, how we can work through the innovative mode and robust mode also for that. So just a few clips later. So this is the site views to you. So how we can make this structures. So now, what is our safety management? The safety management reflects to the practices and process organizing using use of the prevent accidents, injuries, and health issues in the workplace. It involves identifying, assessing, and controlling hazards to ensuring a safe environment for the employers, contractors, and the visitors. See, safety management just the people says only for the documented point of view and the implementer side. It's not like that. It is a commitment. So what we form in the safety management, in the safety plans, you must implement at the site itself. So many contractors, what I'm observing, what we give in the written statement and the management itself, but when you go to site, we face a lot of issues. They never follow safety management and never means practicing what we written in the written document also for that. So that is one of the failure what we facing also for that. But I request all the team also, please strictly follow what we given in the safety management, what they follow, please strictly follow it and achieve our targets in a timely manner also for that. So this is some of the key topics in the safety management, what includes risk assessment, risk safety policy, training, and awareness. So just now, Mr. Liu says about the training issue. So training is normally what last time when you're working from Gammon construction, 10 years back. 10 years back, so the training is more or less 4 hours. Minimum 4 hours of training. But when it comes to India, there is a lapses, what we found it just for half an hour only. Are you agreed for that? The safety induction training, how many hours you give for? Half an hour or 4 hours? 4 hours. That's great. But now we have found it all the construction sectors, they give for half an hour or 1 hour. Otherwise, they bring the contractors into a site, they want to start immediately the work. So what happened? So what kind of culture they can create to the worker level? I think they never follow anything. What is the real risk of the project? They don't know about anything. Just blindly go to site and do the work and create the action for that. Okay, the workers coming from different areas, is language barrier also. You don't know what kind of risk is there. He straight away entering the project and go for the fatal cases. Why means recently, that is 2 or 3 fatal cases, what we know about it. The workers' age limit is 21 and 25. Okay, but the induction point of view, they're just simply induction for half an hour induction. Some workers don't have the ID card, some workers don't have the induction also, proper induction. Then how we know about the risk factor also for this? So the better training is one of the major concerns. Please stick in the training and awareness to the workers level and monitoring and auditing. So that is a third party can do it and internal also can do it. And incident reporting and investigation. So this is one of the major concerns. If there is any incident happen, please find the proper root causes. Without proper root causes, if you're doing any kind of incident investigation, it is not workable also. Once you find the root cause, please implement immediately and remove the hazard then and there itself. So that is one of the major concerns. But many investigation, what we found it, there is no proper root cause identification. And after, if you found root cause identification also, within for 24 hours must be eliminate the hazard. But still, once the incident happened, within for 1 or 2 hours, they start the work. So this is not a culture what we have. But please develop the same culture, and whether you find any, whether if there is any accident incident, find the root cause, implement then and there, and eliminate the risk, then start the work. So this emergency preparedness. So the first question, what that Mr. Lewis, they're asking about this disaster management point of view. So that is one of the major concern of disaster management. Please, so don't think it is full our responsibility also. I mean, recently the government has announced NDFR. NDFR nowadays, they are volunteering, entering to our projects. They won't need the help, our help also for that. So please support them. They also come and visit your location and support them also. Why means in Singapore, we have Singapore Civil Defense Force. When doing any kind of construction works, we have tie-up with the SCDF. So they come to our site and they find where is the critical work is ongoing. If there is any kind of action which has happened, they directly come and find the spot and clear it. So same thing we want to develop here, the culture. So please support that government authority also and bring that good culture at the workplace also for that. Now the compliance. So compliance, legal requirements, strictly follow it accordingly for that. So this is introduction of safety in the workplace. The first one is importance of safety tools in mitigating the risk and preventing accidents. How? What kind of tools required? There is n number of tools. If you go for this Swiss diagram, and that is straight away they can find the root causes. You go for quality tools also for that. So that is an overview of the evolving landscapes of safety technologies and why adopting the advanced safety tools is critical for the modern machineries. So nowadays there is a lot of machineries we are using also for that. How we can use, where you can use also for that. So this is some clips to you for that. So this is a smart wearable glasses, and so how we can use it in the workplace also. Just I have a few video clips to you to how to communicate, whom to communicate, everything can be inbuilt also. So wearable safety technologies now is introducing already many industries like smart helmets, wearable sensors, smart vests, and so this is a Honeywell Life Safety solution also. What is the benefit of this wearable safety technology? Means immediate feedback on safety conditions, monitoring of worker health and environmental hazard in real time. So nowadays, I think L&T is really appreciate for that. They're using for this wearable sensors, and they are implemented at the workers' point of view, and also this newly entered staffs also they're using this one. And smart helmets. So smart helmets nowadays using in the armies, military, and police force also. But in that side point of view, we are recommending to go for the tunnel also for that. Why means inside a tunnel, you know that climate conditions totally different. So this is smart helmets, very good, and it is attached with the cameras, and we have different kind of devices also using also for that. So now this drones for the safety inspection. So nowadays, many locations we are using the drone only for the photography. It's not like that. See, drones is very important nowadays, from especially safety department. They can use the drone to find the higher level buildings, and we are using from this Katipara also we're using drone to find many unsafe activities also for this. So drones for inspecting hard to reach or hazardous areas such as high-rise buildings or dangerous construction zones, and technology is equipped with the cameras and sensors also. Drones are used to assess structural integrity and check for the environmental hazards. What is the benefit of these drones? Reduce workers' exposures to dangerous environmental, increase inspection to efficiency and accuracy. So just you see this video clips.
In the end, I want to share a few roadblocks that a company might face while implementing drones on their site. Now, before we move ahead, I'd really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to this channel. It will help the channel reach wider audience. Now let's talk about the benefits of drones in construction. The first and most obvious benefits of drones in construction industry is the ability to obtain precise visual data of a site faster and cheaper than with any other techniques or manned aircrafts. However, that's only one of the many benefits. Drones can help a project team to receive remote access to current status of the site. By having somebody on site flying the drone, you can see the progress of projects directly on your computer. This will save you a lot of travel time and huge transportation cost. And third and most important benefit of drone is it can help us improve project safety by a large extent. Being able to monitor and inspect hard to reach places or areas in the middle of machineries without having to actually enter them obviously reduces workers' exposure to accidents. But the greatest improvements in safety can be found in inspection and maintenance work. Instead of climbing electric poles or walking along busy highways, workers can fly a drone and inspect images without putting themselves at risk. The data collected by drones is so versatile that it can be used throughout the entire construction life cycle. In the bidding and pre-planning phase, even before the launch of any construction projects, an aerial survey of the site is required to get a good understanding of the environment in which the project is supposed to take place. The very same images collected by drones can then be used as a part of the planning process, providing the foundation for the work of others. With drone images and 3D models, you can overlay projects like a building or a highway onto their environment to get a clear sense of how a project might look.
So the next one is robust in hazardous environment. And this is a few examples. Remote controlled robot for the task like demolition inspections or handling the hazardous materials, and autonomous robots for the routine perspectives or high risk levels. What the technology used for this? Teleoperation, AI, and machine learning allows the robot to perform tasks safety and autonomous. The benefits are reduce the human involvement in hazardous tasks, enhancing precision and repeatability. So this is hazardous environment, how we can use it.
Robots in construction? How are robots in China used in construction? Safer construction site. The construction industry has come a long way, from using simple tools and materials in its humble beginnings. One of the key factors that fueled the growth of the construction industry is its ability to adapt. While this may sound like something right out of a sci-fi movie, there are robots in construction and service. These robots not only solve safety problems in the construction process, but also ensure quality and improve efficiency. Today, we will shed some light on construction robots and how they fit into the construction industry. Industrial robots. A series of China-made construction robots developed by Bright Dream Robotics have been playing their roles at construction sites across the country. Exterior walls of high-rise buildings are some of the most dangerous work in the construction industry. Robots can not only help build, but also paint these exterior walls, which means workers can avoid dangerous tasks. There are also other robots capable of doing various kinds of construction and maintenance work, such as concreting, paving cement or tiles, bricklaying, plastering, waste recycling machine, and cleaning robots. All these robots have greatly improved the quality and efficiency of construction. Operating these robots is like controlling a toy. Operators click the button on a tablet computer, and a wireless signal is transmitted. The robot
Industrial robots at the work sites and the construction also. Okay, so this is some of the AI tools we're using also, but the price of this is very high, and then market values totally is differed also for that. So based upon that, how we can utilize in the construction industries, how to develop the productivity based upon this industrial robots also for that. So now this is a virtual reality. So this is we have for the training point of view, we're using for virtual training and also AR in the workplaces also. The benefits for this effective training, the risk-free environmental, and install access to safety informations and guidance. So nowadays, for the workers coming different, backgrounds with the different states also. So we are using from different kind of different language barrier trainings also giving based upon this VR trainings and AR workplaces also. It's benefit, but the thing is how effective is more important. Okay. Nowadays, I think but that takes time also, but increase more from VR and AR workplaces at the work site. It's good to become the workers can be learned more and more also for that, the safety aspects. So now safety management software analysis. So this is an example. Software that tasks safety performance metrics, incidents and the compliance, And what are the technologies? Real-time data collection from LOT devices, wearables, and inspection reports. And benefit is improve the safety decision making with the data-driven insights. So this is a data collection for that. When suppose some incident which has happened is a past incident, we collect this data and we can implement at the workplaces. Okay, and we can prevent the accidents. But currently there is this kind of data software is available, but how effectively implement the workplace, that's more important. What we found it, we are implement the software at the workplace, but there is very less contractors can you implement the software and follow it accordingly also for this. But when the data collecting point of view is quite good, but the implementation is still we have in lapses. So please have to improve the software analysis systems and implement the workplace also for that. And AI machine learning systems, safety systems. So some cases, AI powered monitoring systems for detecting unsafe behaviors or environmental, for example, monitoring machineries, identifying safety protocol violations, for it is benefit of real-time hazard detection and alarming systems, and continual improvement of safety protocols based on the data analysis. So this is new devices of safety, LOT, Internet of Things devices. So this sensor system, smart sensor systems, which is implemented air quality monitoring, chemical exposures limit for confined space, and continuous monitoring of environmental and equipment conditionals. It is used for remote monitoring capabilities and allowing the real-time response to the hazards. See, now this topic all is new, but it's already, we are following at the sites, but how to implement, that's more important also. So these are some case studies. For case study one is smart wearable in oil and gas industries, improving the worker health, monitoring, including a detection of heat stress and fatigue and proximity alarms. And go for case two for drone for the construction. Example, how the drones have significantly reduced the risk of the accident in construction sites by eliminating the need of manual inspection and hazardous areas. So you can see this both the case studies, that's a different, but how we can utilize at the workplace, that's more important also for that. So this is some of the challenges and consideration, cost of implementation. But now cost is high, but how to implement, that is more important also. High initial investment required for the technology adoption. Suppose if there is any one fatal case which is reported, so normally as per the government law, you know, that is from as per the code of conduct from CML, we give a 1 crore penalty for the one contractor if there is any one fatality. But suppose if we implement this kind of systems at the workplace, so how the cost is somewhere 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, but you can reduce the fatal accident also for that to avoid that incident, and you avoid the fine, and apart from this, time consumption also for this. Training and integration, ensuring the workers are trained to be use advanced tool effectively, and data security and privacy, ensure that sensitive data from wearable devices, drones, and other tools are securely managed. And this is the future of the safety tools in the workplace. Emerging technologies on the horizon from AI-driven the predictive tools from all the safety systems, and increasing adoptions and machine learnings and automation safety management. And the third one is the future of fully connected to LOT, means data systems and protectively safety monitoring systems. It is everything is an automation system. Now China, they have the robots and they have the cameras. They found it whether there is any kind of barricade missed. It can be captured the data and sent to the safety department and highlight and make the alarm system. Immediately, the safety person went on site and changed it, all the environment also for that. So this is, you don't want. And now, based upon this innovation point of view, there is some conclusions. What we have pleased, emphasizing the importance of safety. It's today's fast evolving work environment. Safety is a top priority. Okay, utilizing the advanced safety tools ensure not only the protection of workers, but also increasing efficiency and minimizing downtime. And recap the tool covered. We are exploring a wide range of advanced safety tools, including the wearable technology, drone, and hazardous environmental and virtual and augmented reality of the trainings, and AI for LOT also to monitoring, and it can be easily to capture all the data and highlight and the benefits. This technology enhance the worker safety, improve the operational efficiency, and reduce the human error. So that is a major concern. By adopting such tools, you increase the business and can faster and achieve your target also for that. and address the future of safety. As technology continues to advance, the future of workplace safety will be increasingly automated, connected, and predictive. That integrity of AI, machine learning, and LOT will lead to more proactive safety measures, preventing the accident before they happen. Okay. And call to action. It's a crucial to organizing to stay ahead by investing in and integrating these tools into the safety management system. But already other countries, so now they implemented, like Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, I think other countries implemented. So now India is also 50% implemented, but I recommend for this now, this innovation mode is very important. And if you implement, you can increase your safe productivity at the workplace, and continual adoption of innovation will ensure the long-term safety and the success of workers and projects alike. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? I know I'm standing in between you and the lunch, but you can take one or two questions if anything. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Hello. Not the question, but one suggestion, please. This ergonomics can be integrated into the office system, office comfort or office safety.
So normally, we have the initial stage about 10 years before, we have the risk management, risk assessment for the ergonomics for the office safety for that. Nowadays, it is inbuilt into the technology also for it, and it's easily identified how to design the CAS also, how it can treat posters also, how the movement, the hand, everything. This comes with automation already, but it is purely based upon the staff control for that. Once implemented, it's good for the office staff also. Thank you.
Any other questions? People who are connected virtually, if you have any questions, you can ask. All right. It was a good and engaging session, and Dr. Bala Divakar has brought the available technologies. When we use it in the right sense, definitely it is going to help us in creating a safer workplace. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful session. So let us give us a big round of applause to Dr. S. Bala Divakar. So we are coming into the end of forenoon session. So right now the time is 1:10. So we'll break for lunch and we'll be back at 2 o'clock so that we can commence with the award ceremony. Okay, so let us break. Have a great lunch. Thank you. And we have our sponsor stall, which is there. You can have a look during your break time. So we have our stalls from MT&T, HEPRO, Action, BCSP, and Karam. Volunteers, please guide the dignitaries. Volunteers, please guide the dignitaries, please.